and doing something interesting with them. And so when I looked at the list, I saw characters called a name Immortal Men, and I just love that name. And out of that one name came this concept of immortal men, and then we started tying it into existing immortal characters like Ra's al Ghul and Hawkman and Vandal Savage, and we realized we had something that was both new and tied into things that had been around the DC mythology for quite a long time. And since I'm working with James Tynion the fourth, and he had worked with Scott Snyder on the casting and Forge, which were prelude books to Metal, we were able to figure out a quick way to actually incorporate the Batman Who Laughs into Immortal Men. So I actually got to draw him, which was really pretty awesome. And immediately kind of ties in what we're doing with what's going on in Metal, and again, just really shows you the power of the DC Universe in that you're working not only just a single character, but you're working alongside all those creators that came before you, and you're really setting the plate and the table for the creators that will come after you. People that are just kids now, and when they grow up and decide to pursue a career in comics, they will have been influenced by the work you have done, and want to do things with the characters you created. It's a pretty cool generational process. That's all I can say. Do you collect artworks from other artists? Absolutely. Not so much anymore, but man, I had a pretty big art collection at some point. I had Jack Kirby, Barry Windsor Smith, Michael Golden, Kevin Nolan, John Byrne, Frank Miller, a little George Perez, Travis Charest, had a lot of his stuff, Jeff Campbell. These are the guys I collected. On top of it, the crowds were just fierce. They would just, it just makes me feel a little anxious actually walking around. I actually leave the convention, if I'm going from one section to another, I actually physically get out and then walk along the sidewalk or just outside where the food trucks are. But sometimes I just exit the convention altogether, walk down, and then re-enter and try to deal with the crowds inside. It's just it's too much. Yeah, if you guys, I don't know if the Batmobile is still there, but man, at the Times Square AT&T location, they had the Batmobile and they had the Vision GT, which is the concept car that was made for the game Gran Turismo that is in the Justice League movie, and it was really cool seeing that there. It's so cool to see that stuff in real life too. And for those of you that came out to that event, that store signing where Jeff and I were signing, thank you very much. It was great. We were a little concerned, like, is anyone come out it? Is anyone going to leave the convention and actually come out to a location blocks away for a signing? So it was great and very heartening to see the fans turn out like they did. They had well more than the number of people they expected. And I think we signed for at least 150 people in the course of a couple hours. There are other videos I posted under IRL of both the Batmobile and of that sort of signing. I was trying to live stream some of it. It's a little tricky being your own cameraman and participating in the event, so I just kind of parked it on some books, and it's not the greatest camera angle, but the whole idea is just to kind of give you guys a glimpse into kind of the energy of the signing and what it's like to do something like that. I think art school would make a huge difference in becoming a better artist. I think it definitely makes you a better artist. Show me something in life where you don't devote 4 years to something and come out better at it. If you're very motivated, self-motivated, you could theoretically do the 4 years by yourself, right? Few people are that motivated or have that kind of ability. For the record, am I self-taught? So kinda, yeah, I guess. I definitely got some books that helped me along, but I did take some art classes in college. But I did not go to art school per se. I went to a regular liberal arts college and I got a degree in psychology. But I took some art classes there. Obviously, summer school when I was a kid growing up. I always liked drawing. I always liked art. So I just love painting. I'll even go do the what are those things called where people get together and drink some wine and they get taught by a teacher to all paint the same image. You guys are familiar with that, right? What's it called? Drink and paint? Something like that. I decided to open the mouth a little bit because I thought the teeth were getting a little too crazy. I like long teeth, but I don't want it to be like 4 inches long. I mean, a little crazy. Do I know Jeff Watts? I have met Jeff. I'm pretty sure I met Jeff at least once. But I know he's got an amazing school up in northern San Diego. Some of the people that worked at my office took those classes. I could never make it work given the time schedule, and but I would love to take some real painting classes. And I can paint. It's not great, and I recognize it's not great. I still get a lot of enjoyment out of doing it, and I paint really by a process of the not elimination. I'm not going to say elimination, but it's really just randomness. I'll put something down. If it looks good, I keep it. But I don't have a process where I go like, okay, I'm going to do this tone, and then add my my hot colors here, my cool colors here. But I understand in painting and value, it's just focusing on that kind of stuff. But beyond that, I could definitely use some work. Maybe that's something to do when I slow down on the comic side. And now here I'm just kind of adding these lines that, when I think about this character, it's a very tortured kind of character. So I like the idea that the skin is literally pulled so tightly across the face that you're seeing these like stretch marks. I don't know who's painting it or who's pulling the who's who's pulling the skin, but it's just to differentiate a little bit from the Joker. So it's not just a Joker face with this weird sort of crown of thorns on him, crown of spikes. Then I'm thinking, well, maybe the teeth here aren't so straight, right? So now I'm kind of putting that weird angles to one another. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the collar here. Probably because it looks really hella creepy without a nose. Wow, maybe there's something I should do to like take care of the people that do top cheers, like it's awesome. I love the fact that they're cheering, but what do they get out of it other than shout out? I mean, maybe there should be something in the sketch that only goes to the top leaderboard guys. I don't know. I'm trying to do things with this platform that I don't necessarily see other people do, or maybe they do that. I don't know. When I watch other people's streams, it seems like people play games and then people make donations and subscribe, and that's it. Usually, if you tip at a bar, you can order your second drink a lot more easily than your first, right? A little wider. I know I'm gonna go in and think and kind of shrink it down a little. One ear. I'm not making it super clean because the idea is that yeah, this kid has been through quite a bit. So what I'm doing here is filling this in with black, and I'm hoping that the brush will kind of dry out very quickly. So I get a dry brush effect, and I can kind of do like a very pock-marked metal effect on the rest of this band. Again, because the paper is so slick, it's not really doing that, so I'm going to go in and ink other parts of this until I get that dry brush effect I'm looking for. And that's starting to happen. Okay. So it has kind of like a textured metal kind of effect to it, right? And then do the same thing here. It doesn't look just like a black circle on his forehead. There's some of this ink that's just sitting there pulled in there. And there's a highlight that's going to run along that neck, and it'll preserve that. That ink or paint, technical things. I like it. There's a number of different inks, Penguin, can't remember the other names, but inkers will sit there and argue about what the best ink is. The idea is to get something that's easy and fast to cover paper with, but is also pretty opaque. You want it to cover and be really rich. Even though really light darks on paper will scan in and read eventually as black, a lot of inkers like the originals to look really nice, and so they'll go in with like a deeper black. The thing with deeper blacks is that they take more time to spread out. They actually physically are slow to be able to be spread out on paper. So you can get like a more diluted or lighter weight ink, but then the lighter weight inks don't give you the depth of blacks, and you get something that looks kind of transparent. But this ink, I find to be just the right density, and so that's why I use it. There are inks that are thicker and thinner than this, but for me, this is just right. Ink weight viscosity 101. That will be the new title of this clip. You can get a separate piece of paper, and I do that and just kind of dab the ink like that till I get the dry brush effect I want. I go around and find the part that I need that needs to be filled in blank. Right? So I think this is like leather, and so if you dry brush the sides like this, right, kind of creates a leathery vibe. So this is like texture 101, the brush, pretty common. If you're an inker, you have to have an inker that a pencil that really trusts you to go in and do stuff like this, because not a lot of pencils like that. They can't trust an inker to do a dry brush effect correctly or the way they envision it in their mind, so they come up with techniques like cross-hatching, stippling, uh, stippling, cross-hatching, uh, anything really to create graphical shapes that resemble dry brush. To do dry brush, to give that information to an inker, you have to literally take the pencil and draw on the side of the lead to get you that effect. But even then, you're really at the mercy of the inker's ability to kind of paint and create texture with a brush. And honestly, everyone has different abilities of that. Because if you see something and you go, "This is so good," I think you would stop, right? And you would stop before it was actually truly the best it could be. So when I'm looking at it, I'm looking at things I missed, things I could improve. So yeah, it's a bit of self um, editing, but you don't want to get so harsh about your work that you can't recognize that it's decent. I know some artists that are just so hard on their work, they just think everything they do is just not good. So that's not healthy either. So you got to find the right balance of thinking you're actually doing something that's worthwhile, but also not being happy with it, so that you are constantly trying to make it better, not just in the piece you're working on, but just in general in your entire career, right? All right. The ones in the center I'm going to double light, especially the two core shadows. And thin this out a little bit. Do this for the purpose of this drawing. I don't know if this is the design. I can't tell from the reference I pulled up. Just create a little visual interest here and do some segmented kind of armor. This up here. Fix the one which I did up here. One. Things are happening on the channel. I don't know. Move it. All right. Our time is coming to a close. So I'm gonna do one of these open to all, and then the other will be subs only. I'm Jenny. this grumpy. Looks like subs. Okay, so Batman Who Lost will be for the subs. Subs have 2 chances of winning. Okay. So the long wait scale. All right. So I'm gonna go do this now.